Let's go to our old friend Dante from Florida, who I am convinced, Dante, I'm going to have it right today. You are a Bernie supporter, but you like Tulsi, but you were never a Tulsi voter. You were always a Bernie voter. Do I have it right now?
Yes.
Very good. What's up, Dante?
All right. So, I wanted to kind of push back on this media explanation for what happened in Iowa, and and a lot of people in progressive independent media have been saying this too. That more likely than anything, it's just record-breaking, jaw-dropping incompetence that led to the whole debacle in Iowa. And for me, that requires you to have the assumption that the people at the DNC in charge of the Democratic Party are operating in good faith and is like
Oh dear, Dante, your
a
connection
fair
just went
election.
lo-fi. What you we lost about half of what you said there. You would so I think I know where you're getting at. What would
The
it take to
DNC,
convince
but
you that this was incompetence and not a conspiracy? Like what would you need to see?
there's nothing that couldn't convince me that this is incompetence because the
Oh,
DNC are not the people who running the DNC aren't they're not good faith actors. They have shown time and time again that they're willing to do all types of unethical tricks to undermine progressives in primaries to support the establishment candidates. So just off the bat alone, they aren't good faith actors.
so
More than
let me
that, the
ask you
details
this,
of what happened
Dante.
in
Hold on,
Iowa.
let's take it step by step, Dante, because you're shot out of a cannon today, which I can appreciate. Let me ask you this. Let's imagine that the Iowa caucuses were a completely fake, fraudulent, concocted thing by the DNC. All they got out of it was one extra delegate for Pete, and never in the history of the Democratic primary has it come down to one delegate. So was it worth it? Because in the end, it's not really going to do anything for them.
The delegates aren't the main point of Iowa.
Okay.
I think the amount of delegates that they have in the Democratic convention is 1%. So it's not winning Iowa gives you a huge lead in delegates. It's the media narrative and the momentum that you get
Okay,
when
that's
you win
fair.
Iowa. You get the headlines, you get to get the victory speech, and they denied Bernie Sanders that even though he won the popular vote, and they let Pete Buttigieg run around and pretend like he just won this fair and square, even though he paid $41,000 to the company that created the app, and that
Yeah,
very same
we
app
know
was
about
caught
that. But
changing
let's
votes
deal
in Iowa.
more with the
So
substantive part that I'm interested in, which is I agree with you. A lot of these early primaries, the number of delegates is not the most important thing. It's sort of the PR and being able to claim viability and victory or whatever. I actually I don't know yet whether that's even really happening for Pete beyond just doing well in New Hampshire. Like I still think we need a few more primaries before we can even say that that's going on because Amy Klobuchar is the one who most drastically overperformed the polls in New Hampshire. You've got in South Carolina, all of a sudden Tom Steyer comes in and he's polling second. In a lot of Super Tuesday states, Bloomberg is doing better than Buttigieg. So I'm keeping an open mind. I want to see what happens.
yeah, I'm not saying that it just because they did this, it's going to solidify Pete Buttigieg as the front runner. He's going to run away with the Democratic nomination.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we all recognize what happened. This was a sham election where a candidate had unreal influence over possibly the mechanism.
You're
DNC taking
breaking up again,
unprecedented
Dante.
step
But
of
again,
selectively
I don't
releasing
have proof
precincts.
that Dante had Dante. I don't have proof that Pete had influence over that mechanism. We know the connections. I just am unclear that the degree of conspiracy that some are asserting without proof seems completely overwrought given the actual impact that it had. But in any case, it's certainly fine for us to simply disagree. I do agree, generally speaking, with you that the benefit of Iowa for Pete was running around claiming victory, not the extra delegate. We agree there.
And then just one more point that I want to make. So I think that there should be a lot of there should be conversation about what we learned in 2016 because even though it was 4 years ago, it is incredibly relevant. And it's we haven't really wrapped our minds around most of the country has not wrapped their minds around the fact that in their own words the DNC was caught breaking their own charter, violating their own rules and favoring one candidate over the other in the primary and shooting Bernie Sanders.
I got you,
And I
Dante.
feel
Listen,
like the
we've
mainstream
talked
media,
about that so extensively. I don't want to dig back into that. We've covered that for 4 years, so I'm going to let you go. I've got so many people that want to get on, and always great to hear from you. But we covered that so much. As many of you know, I am super careful about where we publish and distribute David Pakman Show content. It's a really important decision that we make. Where do we want our content to be? We don't want to spread ourselves too thin, but we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of good platforms where our content could do well. And over the last couple of months, I've been testing publishing our content to a platform called Library. That's LBRY. I've mentioned it once or twice before. And we are absolutely loving it. It's a fantastic platform where our revenue as publishers does not depend on some algorithm deciding whether an ad should run before a video or not. In fact, it's actually an ad-free platform where our revenue is determined by the number of people that watch our videos and also by the tips that are left for us in credits that are in-platform credits. It's their own sort of currency, so to speak, by viewers like you. And right now, for people who sign up on this platform, it's completely free using the link down in the video description. For every verified sign up, we get a little bit of a credit, and you also get a credit of tips that you can then leave on content that you like, such as the David Pakman Show content that we are publishing. So use the link down in the video description. No algorithmic determinations about whether we get to make money or we don't get to make money or any of that stuff. All of our video content is being published there. Use that link, sign up, you'll get a credit, we'll get a credit, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'll update you guys in a couple of weeks about how it's going. There's also a contest that they're running. Whoever can refer the most new users gets a huge reward, which would be a big boost to us. So check it out, link down in the video description, sign up, let me know what you think.